So, I did something either brilliant or really, really stupid. I bought a factory manual BMW 325i off Facebook Marketplace. It looked surprisingly decent. Cleanish interior, straight body, and the seller swore it just needed a service. Classic. And honestly, the drive home wasn't bad. I thought I'd scored the deal of a century until I found this.
Oh my god!
What I discovered under the surface wasn't just a problem, it was catastrophic. Like, how did this car even run levels of catastrophic? And now I'm wondering if I bought a bargain or a financial time bomb. This car, brand new in 2005, sold between $70,000 and $80,000. And obviously I got this car far cheaper. I got this BMW for 2.5% of its original price. So let's get into why this thing was only $2,000. When you get in and start this thing, it sounds like a Philharmonic orchestra. When you actually start driving it, you get a nice waft of oil into your nostrils, which, let's be honest, is pretty standard for mid-2000s BMWs. This thing leaks so much oil that when I bought it, I was worried that the Americans were going to invade. And I'm still scared of that happening, so let's get on to fixing this oiled up BMW.
So I don't think Nathan's equipped yet, but these things are so bad to work on.
What's that? Oh, equipped?
Equipped.
Yeah, I'm pretty equipped. Oh, you mean working on the car? Yeah, and look, I mean, my background is a German mechanic at Audi, but BMWs are a far different breed. Like, I've watched a few videos, but I can imagine that, like, you know, it seems straightforward, but there's going to be some issues along the way. It doesn't really make sense that half the engine is like inside the dash. It does explain why this thing drives so well, and it does drive very well for having such high kilometers. Yeah, this thing is very oily, and I'm very keen to see what is going on. When it comes to working on any modern BMW, you have to spend the first 10 minutes dismantling the cowl panel so that you can gain access to the back half of the engine, which in my case, I definitely needed. Luckily, however many owners this thing's had, one of them wasn't particularly bright, and he just didn't put any bolts in.
Ah, the struggle begins.
What is this?
The struggle begins.
There you go.
Whoa.
Oh, holy crap. It's just full of oil.
Wait, let's get this in there.
No wonder it stinks like oil.
There's a clip in here.
So far, this BMW was proving itself to be worth every bit of $2,000. Shady service history, poor maintenance, and shocking repairs. But nevertheless, I soldiered on removing this valve cover because I was so curious to see what a 260,000 kilometer N52 looked like on the inside. Alright, so as you can see, I've been busy taking off the wiring harness. That took about an hour. This job has actually been done before, so if you have a look down here, I don't know if you can see it, in very faint writing it says Victor Reigns, which means that this is an aftermarket valve cover gasket. Now, the guy I bought this car off told me that the valve cover gasket was leaking, but from my observations, it's not actually the valve cover gasket that's leaking, and it's the Valvetronic actuator seal which is leaking. So if I just point a light there, you can see that it's leaking down here, filling that up, and then it's filling all these valleys up as well. I have that seal ordered, but it's coming next week. And the problem with that is that it comes the day after this car is supposed to get registered. Luckily, it's something that I can do with the valve cover on, so I'm gonna do the valve cover seal anyway. Also, another thing, this. So I don't know what this plug is for, but it runs underneath the engine, and I'm pretty sure it goes into the water pump, and someone has literally soldered it to the butt of the connector. And when I breathed on it, I literally looked at it the wrong way and it broke. On the good side, the valve cover is about to come off. So it's just about 50,000 e-torques, E12 I believe they are, and then it should come off, and then we'll see what condition this engine is in. Everything is off now. So on the topic of the previous person that worked on this car being his IQ starting with a decimal point, this is what a rocker cover bolt should look like, right? Now these are one-time use, they're aluminium, so you're supposed to throw them away, right? I'm guessing, or I'm assuming, that they snap the ones at the back and they just replace them with these 10 mils, these steel 10 mils. Anyway, now this is loose, I can almost lift it up with my hands, so let's try and take it off. I don't think anything's in the way, I've already undone all those. Oh, I am. Hello. Hello?
This is exactly what I experienced. Now you're feeling the pain. Ah! And it's even harder.
Oh, come on, you Anyway, that's good enough. No, I'll just leave it like this. Just drive it around like that. This fucking mooring harness is in the way. I can't fucking get it fast.
This is it.
What do you mean? It's fucking off. What is it getting stuck on? Yay. So now the valve cover's off. It reveals the valve cover gasket that looks like it wasn't leaking. But, you know, while you're here, you may as well torture yourself. You may as well just do it. You know what I mean? You know what I mean? See this here? See that? Yeah, just... So now, I just gotta wait for my bolts to arrive because I'm not reusing them. And also the Valvetronic actuator gasket, which goes on here. Well, it goes on the valve cover, but that's where it sits. So if you guys don't know what Valvetronic is, basically this N52, along with the N52B30, this is a 2.5, so it's a 25. It has a throttle body, right? But it also has this Valvetronic motor, which actually opens the inlet valves. It actually opens the inlet valves somehow. I don't know exactly how it works, but it uses all these like things, and it does the yeah. All right, back on the Beamer once again. It's been a couple of days. I've just been waiting on parts because of course I was. It's Euro. But now we've got this brand new valve cover gasket. I'm gonna chuck this on. It's a very strange design. It's a single layer steel and it's got these little ridges on it, so as you tighten it down, it seals it. But it obviously doesn't work that well considering BMW only really used this design for 1 year and then they switched to a plastic and rubber O-ring style valve cover. But it's pretty simple to install. It only goes on one way and is doweled on the actual head itself. So there you go, that's what that looks like. Now it's time for this. And look who's back again, Shane. Shane is here. This time, we're not fixing anything structurally for a change. He's just come around to chill and he just loves wrenching on cars, but you don't like Euros, do you, Shane?
Oh, not so much, but everything's cool, I suppose.
Everything has its charm.
That's it.
It's a cool car. I have this saying where a Euro car is as good as a car can get briefly until it breaks. So it'll be a pretty cool car when it's done, when I'm done fixing all the oil leaks, but until then, it's miserable. Getting this valve cover back on was even harder than taking it off. Anything that could possibly get in the way did. As Shane and I were trying to finesse this valve cover back on, I was thinking of clever acronyms for BMW to help soothe my brain. Broken most weeks, Bavarian money waster, barely moving wreck, miserable If you guys got any more suggestions, leave them in the comments below. But by literally bending shit out of the way, we managed to get it on and it came time to torquing down those one-time use bolts. And when I researched the tightening sequence, I was astounded. First tighten all the bolts in a crisscross pattern to 7 Newton meters, then wait 30 minutes and finally finish all the bolts off with a 90-degree turn. What the f***? I'm not cooking a steak here, I'm changing a valve cover. Alright, so as you can see, the valve cover and everything is back on. I have driven it around the block a bit just to make sure, but now we're moving on from this to the other BMW classic oil leak, and that's underneath the car. So like I said, the valve cover was actually done before I bought this thing, but what was actually leaking was the Valvetronic motor seal right there. And while I was at it, I also replaced the Valvetronic sensor seal, which is here. I'm glad this thing is done because now it is time for the most painful job on this thing. But before we send the car up in the air and do this sump gasket, I have no idea when the last oil change on this thing was. So we're gonna chuck some oil flush in it. Show us the oil flush that we're using. Liqui-Moly. Do the honors. You better not spill it. It was expensive.
I'm not pro at spilling, thank you.
That was a whole 10 bucks. There you go. It looks like diesel. Thank you for your services. You're free to go. That's it. I've got the filter. I've had a quick look at it, but I want to cut it open to make sure that none of this is a waste of time. So let's see. Cut it open now. Let's spread it and see. Ooh, all right. So we got a couple of flakes of shiny silver metal, which is not horrible. Like every engine breaks down over time. But what I don't see, luckily, is bronze. There you go. You like that? So there's a couple of flakes there, but it's not the worst. Not the worst. A couple more flakes. All right, there's a tiny bit of gold in there. Tiny bit there. I've seen worse. For 260,000 kilometers, it's not horrible. Not horrible. Alright, so the first thing we need to do, I've got the bar on, that's up there, it's all secured. It's a bit jank, but it should hold. Obviously, we need to separate the engine from the subframe because I drop in the subframe in order to get to the sump, which is in there. It won't come out unless you lower the subframe. It's a lot of cars are designed like this. The VT that I just rebuilt as well was the same thing. So I'm gonna start off by undoing these 10 mils that hold the subframe D bushes in, which is gonna allow the subframe to drop down and it won't get in my way. And then it's just a matter of undoing the engine mounts, which is these two E-Torx bits here, and the same on the other side, right there. And then it's these 19 mil bolts, I believe. There's 6 of them, 3 on each side, and then it should allow the subframe to drop enough. So let's get started. Lowering the subframe is a lot more straightforward than the valve cover job. Simply just removing a series of bolts that are easy to reach and it drops down, allowing more clearance to access the oil pan in order to remove it. So now the subframe is loose, it has revealed the sump, so I can start taking that apart. It really isn't that bad, this job. I thought it was gonna be a lot worse. Honestly, so far, it's actually easier than the valve cover. There's way less stuff you have to remove. I think I've removed a total of 10 bolts to get to the sump. The bolts haven't arrived. They're actually one-time use bolts, just like the valve cover ones. But I can at least get this sump off and prepare everything, clean it. So then all I have to do is whack in those new bolts. And there's probably some stupid torquing sequence for that as well. So yeah, but let's see. So all the bolts are out. It's time to take the sump off. And hopefully I've done everything correctly. I can just take this last bolt out and it should slide out. I've already disconnected the oil level sensor. I've unplugged it. So I should be able to finesse this out now. But little did I know what I was about to find hiding beneath that oil pan could potentially render this whole build useless. The mystery of this bargain $2,000 BMW was slowly unfolding and it was getting worse and worse. This common problem I was about to uncover plagues thousands of N50 series powered BMWs, and when it happens, oftentimes it's fatal. Alright, the grand reveal. The Sumpus. The Sumpus. There you go, that's that sump gasket I was talking about, and this looks original, but I'm going to try and look for a part number. You're going to have a look at the bottom of its engine, right, and tell me what you see.
Is there something that's supposed to be wrong?
Yes, I just noticed it.
Oh my god! Holy fuck!
It looks like the dry belt has been sucked up into the pickup at some point in its life.
Bro, I'm shocked that this thing was still running. What the fuck? Oh, can I pull it out?
Yeah.
Oh my god, dude. Holy, how is it running, bro? Dude, all your bearings are probably...
No, there was not much metal.
What the fuck, man? Dude, I'm surprised this thing hasn't blown up and it's not rod knocking.
Yep, same. Is there more shit in there?
Oh yeah. Bro, it's just falling out.
Holy crap. That's all dry belt. This is a very common
That's
problem.
crazy,
Can you tell
bro.
them what happens with these engines?
Yeah, so at the front of the engine, the accessory belt over time starts breaking down, I guess.
No, well, the oil filter housing leaks
It
onto it.
leaks onto the belt, and then the belt sucks itself in somehow through the front
Front main.
Yeah. Oh, bro, there's so much in here. It's still coming
I
out.
think I need to take the pickup off.
Oh my god. Yeah, you do.
Jesus
Bro, look at my hands.
So what could I really expect buying this cheap $2,000 BMW? It was neglected, it was passed around, had a million owners, and no one ever took care of it properly until it got into my hands. And I'm gonna definitely give it the best lease of life I possibly can, because it is a cool car, but it's been very neglected, and it's definitely showing signs of that with all that dry belt in the oil pickup. But nevertheless, stick around if you enjoyed today's video. There's gonna be a lot more BMW content, so I'll see you in the next one. Take it easy.